hasn't been playing. Here he is from yesterday on his shoulder injury, explains why he didn't play in that Ravens game when he said he was going to play all the way back in week 3. Here he is from yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't figure out until that Saturday, the day before the Ravens game. So, all week it was just swelling, bruise, and then once the swelling can go down, that's when we got the MRI, and the MRI came back, and we found out Saturday evening, it was a rotator cuff. And usually you sit out, but, I told, the people, the medical staff as a whole that, we'll see what happens, Sunday morning, and let's try to get there early and work out. And we did that, and, we couldn't go.
Are you concerned that this is going to linger at all this year, that's going to affect your passing through the season, or do you think that you'll be 100% at some point this year?
I'm not sure. This is my first time dealing with a rotator cuff, so I'm just trying to get as comfortable as I possibly can to go out there and perform at the level I know I can. It's not so much of the pain. It's mostly if I can, throw the football. The pain, I can deal with certain pain, tolerance. But if I can't control the football, I can't throw the football with no velocity. If I can't throw the football more than a certain, amount of yards, then, like I said before, then I don't want to handicap the team because, then I can't get the ball downfield, and I can't get the ball outside the numbers and things like that. So, like I said, that was, a couple weeks ago, but the progress and the arrow is definitely upward, and we just going to continue to just attack it each and every day.
It was week 4, by the way, that he missed the Ravens game.
Right.
Week 3 was when the injury happened against the Tennessee Titans.
Ooh, right there.
Now, Chris,
that's where it did.
Now look, well, see, and that's why, number 1, don't run the ball. Number 2, when you run the ball, don't put yourself in harm's way.
He takes a head right in the
deck.
shoulder
No.
here. Ooh.
Yeah, right here. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Bang. So, look, what he said about the MRI, getting the results on Saturday night, finding out it's a rotator cuff, going out there the next day and just trying to, that doesn't mesh.
Not totally, you're right.
Completely.
Yeah.
With what Kevin Stefanski had said. And the way that they had set all this up, he says he's playing. We're going to see how he looks on Sunday morning. That's what happened. This new wrinkle of the MRI with the rotator cuff, the information coming Saturday night, that is precisely the kind of information that somebody needed to leak to somebody. And we know there's a swarm of people looking to get that information about who's going to play and who's not going to play. If that gets out there, if there's a chance, if you're thinking he's not going to play, it's in his interest to get that narrative changed. It's in the interest for the players to know, because there were players who were confused after the game. We've talked about this. That's why I've been so intrigued by this. I get the phone call at 5:04 p.m. Eastern that Sunday. Hey, there's some guys in the locker room that are like, what the hell? He said he's playing all week, and now he taps out on Sunday morning. It would have been nice for them to know that this MRI came back with the rotator cuff thing and it looked like he wasn't going to play. That's a new fact that changes how you view whether or not he should have played, and it conflicts with the Kevin Stefanski medically cleared.
Yeah.
He made the decision not to play.
No,
That's information that should have been volunteered by Kevin Stefanski 3 weeks ago, not information that Deshaun Watson is sharing with us for the first time now. And this is all part of how you present facts to the media, and the media processes them and either says that adds up or something doesn't make sense here.
Right. Well, yeah, that's why, you do have to be careful as a head coach and the message you send as a coach, to the public, to the media. Your team's listening, right? I mean, I used to go home and get done with practice and go home and sit there, and, wife would make me dinner and you'd have the local news on, and hey, next is going to be John Gruden talking about, he took questions today, and I'd listen because I'd be like, I don't know what he said. I'd like to hear what he talked about with the game today. Let's hear what he said to the reporters. All right. So yeah, people are listening to that stuff. And that's what's like where Stefanski, I don't know why he said it or what the reasoning was, but the medically cleared thing, I think, is what, put more pressure on the situation, more of a spotlight on the situation. And certainly I think probably made Deshaun Watson's life a little uncomfortable there. That's the big thing, right? We talked about this a little bit last week. There's a difference between medically cleared and being able to go out and play your best and throw your fastball, right? Okay, yeah, structurally everything's medically cleared or whatever. But if your labrum's beat up and bruised up a little bit there, right? And obviously it was, and thank God there's no tear there. But obviously it took a jolt to where, yes, it's uncomfortable, and it got moved a little out of place and got torqued in a way it shouldn't. That, this is where, okay, medically cleared, whoop-de-doo, but we got to be more than medically cleared. I got to be able to throw a 15-yard comeback with 58 miles per hour with a pretty big object in an NFL football. I need to be able to be on my back foot and maybe throw a 65-yard post to Amari Cooper and let it go. And that's where, medically cleared doesn't mesh with ready to play football. And I don't understand where they use that. And yeah, this is a tough, sensitive area for a quarterback. I've gone through this a little bit, like I told you, and I was medically cleared. And I remember going into like week 4 of practice after I was medically cleared going, damn, I still don't have quite the control and velocity and just absolute torque and snap in my shoulder the way I did, right? I mean, you feel it when your rotator is hurt and you get to these positions where it starts to, okay, now I'm going to really come through and, grip the ball and rip it. You start to go, oh, man, I can't quite do it. Okay, let me just throw it smooth. Okay, that feels better. And that's what I think he's going through. And it sounds like what he's going through. And I know a few people that have let me know that that's what he's going through right now.
That's why the term medically cleared never should have been used.
Exactly right. Exactly.
And I'm sure he would acknowledge that.
Yeah, I think he would. Stefanski's a pretty good guy that
probably
way.
Shouldn't have said.
Right.
Probably shouldn't have said medically cleared because for most players, medically cleared is the license to go out there and play.
Yeah.
I'm medically cleared. All right, let's go. It creates that. Hey, all right, I'm medically cleared.
Yeah.
I'm good to go. Oh, I might not be 100%, but nobody's 100%. Now, Chris, here's the question: when you consider how good the Browns' defense is, and it is historically dominant, at what point do you settle for Deshaun Watson less than 100 versus P.J. Walker or Dorian Thompson-Robinson at 100, especially as one of them plays and starts to get a little wear and tear too? So you see, if it's P.J. Walker, he's 98, 97, 93, 92. He's banged up a little bit, and here's Deshaun hovering around 80. Like, at what point do you say, okay, he can't throw it 60 yards down the field. He can't throw the 30-yard out route, but he can do a lot of the stuff we need to do to make this offense go. Oh, and he can still run the ball if we need him to run. We don't want him taking big hits on the shoulder, but he can still run the ball if we need him to run. At what point do you think they say, hey, Deshaun, you may not be able to make all the throws, but you can make enough of them that you're going to help our offense do enough because our defense is the thing that's carrying the show this year?
Yeah, I kind of always look at that sweet spot of being like, again, with lack of a better way to explain it, like 90%, 85 to 90%. And within that, they might have to tell him, hey, we're going to manage you too. We're not going to ask you, but we need you out there because like the 2 backup quarterbacks we started this year, they can't even manage the game the right way. It's a miracle we won that game last week with our quarterback throwing 2 interceptions in our own territory, and we gave up a touchdown because of one of them, and the other one he threw it, and our defense was so damn good that we knocked them out of field goal position, and they had to punt the freaking ball. They couldn't even kick the field goal. It's hard to live that way in the NFL, to your point. And you're right. I would think that, another game like that, they might push him along a little bit to go, hey, we just trust you to manage the game the right way. We know you've been out there and done that, and we'll manage you. We're not going to ask you to do anything crazy. But I think it's a little bit of like, comfort and control. And does he have to have his absolute best fastball? No. But the thing he does have to have, and what could be affected here, again, when you try to keep things tight and control it to throw accurate footballs, at times it can feel like, man, I just don't have the ability to tighten my arm and really control the ball the way I want, all the way through from my grip all the way up to my shoulder. And, hopefully they can get to a point where that gets close to 100% to where they go, okay, your fastball's not there, but your control's there, and we trust you, with the bright lights on you more than these other 2 guys. Let's get you out there and do that. And I think if he gets to that point, I don't think Deshaun Watson's a guy that's going to be like, oh, no, I still don't want to play. He's going to play. As long as he feels like, hey, I can go and help the team, and I've got control of the football here, and I'm not hurting myself any worse, I have no doubt that guy will get out there and play football again.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.